This started out as an ordinary Mini Mayfair, bought for £100 in £1 coins. But for Alex, this was no ordinary Mini Mayfair. It was a car that he dreamed about since he was 6 years old. And after 25 years of rebuilding it, improving it, and almost losing it, this little red car is still here. Alexander loved cars for as long as he could remember, but Minis were always the one. When he was 6 years old, his dad promised he'd try to find him a Mini to park in the back garden, somewhere he could sit, pretend to drive, and let his imagination run wild. The trouble was, even back then, old Minis weren't exactly cheap. So instead, his dad came home with something rather unexpected. A 1982 Renault 14, bought for £60.
Yeah, me and my friends used to just sit in it and pretend to drive it, you know. We used to just mess around with it. And
Wonderful.
I can remember when we first got it, obviously the battery was still charged. I remember the neighbours moaning about us beeping the horn all the time. The noise was making my mum went mental. She's like, "You're not having the keys," and stuff like that. But yeah, it was great.
So most people complain about the ball coming over. In your case, it was
the horn on the car, yeah.
His dad couldn't find him a Mini, but I guess that's what made him want one even more. Alexander was 14 years old. He was walking home from the chip shop with his friend JJ when something caught his eye. Outside the house were two Minis. One was a blue Rover Mini Mayfair. The other, a rather tired-looking red Austin Mini Mayfair.
We were stood there for probably about 10 minutes just staring at these two cars until this guy eventually came out of his house and he's like, "Can I help you?" I think it looked strange, two young lads standing outside someone's house. And I said, "Oh, like, what's the story with the Mini? You know, do you want to sell it?" And he said, "Well, yeah, like, I would." I said, "What do you want for it?" He said, "Well, I paid £100 for it, so how's £100 sound?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy with that." So then walked home and told me, "Mum, oh, by the way, I'm buying a Mini."
And I love this bit because if he hadn't walked down the road that day, we probably wouldn't be standing here right now. And how did you pay for it?
So I gave him £1 coins that I'd saved up from my pocket money. You know, as you do, you know, when you're a kid, you get told, you know, save up for a rainy day. And that was my rainy day fund. And I paid him in £1 coins.
But that's what you get when you buy something off of a kid. At 14 years old, he'd just purchased the car he'd always wanted since he was a child. The day the Mini came home, the old Renault went off to the scrapyard. Looking back, Alexander admits that was a little bit sad. Renault 14s are incredibly rare today. But at 14, none of that mattered. He had a Mini. That plan was simple. Spend the next few years getting it ready and learn to drive it when he turned 17. There was just one problem. The Mini was rough. Very rough.
You could put your hand up on the driver's side sill and you could touch the carpet. I mean, you could, well, It wasn't so bad you could touch the carpet. You could see light through there. You could see the windows through the outer sill, you know.
Yeah.
There was all holes around the front bumper or around the front bumper valance and stuff like that. The wings were bad. The doors were like flapping where the door skins weren't attached. It was rough, to be honest. It was really bad, but it was running and technically driving. And so it drove round from his house to mine.
And that's the reality of buying a £100 Mini. The reality soon kicks in and the welding begins.
I think I had it in the garage for probably about 18 months where I'd literally just getting it, start it up. And again, me and my mates were still sitting it, you know, we thought it was really cool sitting on the driveway, you know, drive up and down the driveway. And I thought I need to really get it done. And once I was 16, I got a job at like a local tyre shop. And obviously, being 16, you don't really have anything to spend your money on. So I saved all my money up, and then I thought, right, I need to get this on the road for when I'm 17.
When Alexander turned 17, everything was ready. His mum would take him out in the Mini to teach him to drive. At least that was the plan.
The first time I took my mum out was Christmas Eve 2003, and we went out with the L plates on, and I'd had these big like Revolution wheels and tyres put on it, and every time you turned the corner the wheels rubbed the arches, and my mum was like, "That car is a death trap, I'm never going in that again." And with that she bought me a Fiesta to learn driving. She said, "I'm not teaching you to drive in that Mini." She said, "That's horrendous." And it got pushed to the garage and then basically forgot about it for a little while.
This time the plan wasn't just to get the Mini back on the road, it was to build the Mini the way I'd always imagined. The car was sent away for paint. It received a new front end, better doors, a replacement boot lid. The bumpers came off. Inside came bucket seats, new door cards and fiberglass dashboard. Underneath, bigger brakes and 10-inch wheels. So then, Alex, you decided that you needed a sunroof, didn't you?
Yes.
But you were a bit nervous about this, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the sunroof was something I've always said, I wanted a Webasto sunroof in the car. And for years and years and years, I said, yeah, I'm going to do it, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then I found one on eBay for 50 quid, and it was only in Brentwood, so I thought, nice and local. Went and got it. The day I went to do it, I remember I measured and measured and measured. I probably measured the roof for about 4 or 5 hours before I was like, I need to just bite the bullet here and actually like cut the hole, because otherwise I'm never going to do it.
Because once you start cutting, there's no going back. By the autumn of 2020, Alexander was enjoying the Mini more than ever. The lockdown rebuild had transformed it. The sunroof was fitted, the engine bay looked immaculate, and with the weather refusing to change, he decided to leave the Mini on the road for just a little bit longer. It seemed like the right decision until the 1st of October.
I'd just taken out for an evening, and I got to this roundabout, and I stopped. There was traffic coming around, and as I went to pull away, the woman behind me thought I'd gone away a lot quicker, and she just ploughed straight into the back of us. The damage was quite severe. I'd done the boot lids, the rear panel, the rear quarter was bent, the rear valance, and because the car was debumpered at the time as well, just all the filler where it had been like smoothed off, just all cracked and came out. I was like, oh my God, it was a mess. Her insurance company rang me and said, well, we want to write your car off because we don't feel like it's worth what it's going to cost to repair.
Sometimes saving the car is only half the battle. Getting someone else to understand why it's worth saving is often the difficult part. And for the first time since buying the Mini, Alexander wondered what would happen next.
And I spoke to my friend Scott, who was into Minis, and he said, use this guy called Lee at Malden Car Body, he'll be able to help you. And he recommended me ask the insurance company for a cash in lieu settlement. They literally, the same day, I was like, yep, fine, we'll pay you out the money. They give me, I think, £4,700. They was like, yeah, you keep the car, no categorisation.
Right.
It worked really well.
When the repairs were finished, Alexander decided to make one small change. The bumpers went back on, along with the overriders, a look he still prefers today. And you still want to improve the car, don't you?
Yeah, there's a lot I'd still like to do. I'd like to put a new rear subframe on it because the subframe that's on it's not knackered by any means, but it doesn't look tidy. And I feel like the rest of the car looks so nice. The rear subframe lets it down. I'd like to put new rear radius arms on it. Yeah, there's a few things. That's how I feel like I just want to keep it fresh and keep doing it. I enjoy working on the car as much as I enjoy driving the car. You know?
And I guess that's the thing, isn't it? If you lose interest, you don't want to do anything else to the car, do you? That's part of the fun of owning it and always doing things to it, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Looking back now, it's remarkable to think where this story began. A 14-year-old boy walking home from the chip shop spotted a tired old Mini outside someone's house and bought it for £100. And taking it home in hope that one day it would become something special. Over 20 years later, it has. And that's what I love about stories like this. The Mini didn't become special overnight. It earned its place. 25 years of work and memories. And for Alex, it's not a Mini anymore. It's a part of his life. Don't forget to like and to share, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of Classic Car Stories. But don't park the car just yet. Make sure you drive straight into the next episode, all about the vanished Mini belonging to John Lennon, because every classic has a story to tell.